New York City remains on high alert as the FBI and police investigate the deadliest terror incident to hit the city since the September 11th attacks. Investigators say the suspect drove a Home Depot rental truck along a bike path, killing at least 8 people and wounding more than a dozen others. What's behind this terror attack and using a truck as a weapon? David Adesnik of the Foundation for Defense of Democracies joins us now to give us insight. The counterterrorism chief for the New York Police Department said it appeared the suspect followed almost exactly instructions that ISIS put on its social media channels. Are trucks the weapons of choice these days, David?
Well, there's no question that ISIS is promoting them, especially as an option for those who may not have access to more sophisticated weapons. That back in May, the TSA issued a warning that Americans and American organizations need to be on the lookout for this kind of threat. And there's been a real increase in both the U.S. and Europe and also in Israel over the past few years.
How is ISIS able to continue to put out this kind of information?
Well, there are social media channels it continues to exploit. There have been efforts by places like Twitter and Facebook, but then there are other mechanisms for connecting, things like Telegram, where it's harder and harder, thanks to encryption, for sort of people to get in the way or for counterterrorism forces to get in the way.
How do we defend against these types of attacks like what happened yesterday?
Well, there are some measures we can take, but it is extremely difficult. You're probably familiar with the bollards, sort of the pillars that sometimes come out of the ground that can block access to certain areas for trucks. But if you think about how many different places people gather together, whether for a festival or any other type of outdoor activity, there's no way to have them all surrounded. And the fact is, commercial vehicles are fairly common, and there's many, many reasons a person would want to have them. So it isn't easy to find the needle of the attacker in the haystack of all the people who have legitimate reasons to want a truck.
Police say the attacker is a legal immigrant from Uzbekistan. What do we know about that country, and what kind of visa did the suspect have?
Sure. Well, Uzbekistan, like many of its neighbors, is a fairly repressive dictatorship in Central Asia. Initial reports are that the attacker had a so-called diversity visa meant to promote immigration from countries that might not otherwise be sending many immigrants to the United States. Notably, there are also reports that the New York police, perhaps other authorities, are investigating a number of Uzbekistan-related individuals engaged in an extremist organization of some kind in New York City, although it's not yet clear whether the attacker had ties there.
President Trump's travel ban would not have stopped the suspect from entering the U.S., but the president tweeted that he ordered Homeland Security to step up the extreme vetting program. What are your thoughts on that, David?
Well, one of the challenges of extreme vetting is it can only catch someone who is already radicalized or somehow tied to an extremist organization when they make an effort to come to this country. We have initial reports, and of course, initial reports may turn out to be wrong, but apparently this individual was not radicalized at that time. It was only after he had some trouble in this country, finding a good job and other things, that he became radicalized. So it doesn't mean there's no benefit to doing those things, but whether it's this attack or the Orlando attack, it seems clear that there's a class of individuals who only become radicalized after getting here, and that's what we need good intelligence work for and good law enforcement.
All right, David Adesnik of the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, thank you for your time and insights today, sir.